what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another practice cast. In my budget C9 Valkyrie look. This was a completely spontaneous thing that I decided to do this morning. Luckily, Cloud9 are playing, but that does make me biased caster. They're gonna be playing against Trippy, who I haven't seen that much. This season, I just haven't been watching their games quite as much, so this is going to be a little bit more of a surprise about their playstyle for me, and I'm going to be learning a little bit more, but this was one of the more recent games. Looking at the map bans right now, let's share that with you. So we're going to be going to Consulate, which is a map that we haven't seen Cloud9 be all that successful on, at least when they were playing against Scars, but they did have a better time when they were playing against Axiomatic, who actually managed to kind of prove themselves up against Cloud9, even though they're having a pretty tough time here in the Pro League right now. So it's going to be interesting to see if Trippy are able to bring Cloud9 down on this map. Maybe they will have watched over that VOD, learned a little bit about the mistakes that Cloud9 made. I did say them in the last VOD a little bit, but Cloud9, couple of mistakes. They don't send their roamers upstairs when they're trying to take the middle floor. They hang around too much around the site and are easily rushed. They get members picked off. They're held back by defenses. The times where they are the most successful is the times where they make these surprise aggressive rushes, and that can't be relied upon every single round, because kind of once you've done it once, you can't just keep repeating it. So that's going to be very interesting to see whether Cloud9 make more improvements. Also, I've just gone on that tirade and I've just remembered that it wasn't Consulate that they played against Scars on, it was Cafe Dostoevsky. So this could be, I was thinking, the middle floor on Consulate is the ground floor. Regardless, those same issues could still arise with the roamers not necessarily being in the right place. Ocien, want to be watching out for him. He had a pretty good game against Axiomatic. A little bit better than he had against Scars. So to see how he particularly fares up against Trippy is going to be quite interesting. So Trippy are going to be starting off on the defense. So that's going to give Cloud9 potentially some opportunity to bring out some of these aggressive rushes, get a head start in the game, and get those points on the board before they head over into their defense, which is likely to be a little bit less effective. But now we're going to be having a look at the hero bans. Trippy, they're going to be banning out an attacker first, and of course it's going to be Thermite. You know, he's quite useful, especially if you're going in on a garage attack to open up that bottom, well, the garage door. Capitan also going to be joining him. Again, another standard for this map. When we come to the defensive ones, I expect a mirror to be on there, but you never know, it is Korea. Okay, Echo's going to be on there, so I reckon we could see either a mirror, a pulse, Castle maybe? Castle's very popular here in Korea. They do use him a lot on points that aren't even typically your kind of castle points. So let's see what Trippy decide to add. Mirror, okay, fairly standard. You won't be able to use her mirror windows from the security room when you're holding onto those garage defenses. Kind of common to see mirror be banned out here, so it's been actually a little while since I've seen a mirror, I don't know, even be in play on this map. Starting off, it is going to be Garage Cafe for the first defense. I think it was against Axiomatic that Cloud9 played on Consulate. So that was it? Yes? I'm going to say yes. Never know. I guess it doesn't really matter now. They're here against Trippy, who are going to be doing a 6-pick off. Going on to the mute, kind of common to have that denial. They're also going to be bringing a Goyo. Goyo on this bottom defensive point is quite interesting. You can have those shields quite up close to the garage door. Now, without the Thermite Cloud9 are going to have to bring the Hibana, which means you can play from a little bit further back and potentially not be at risk so much from those Goyo shields. But once you destroy them, it is going to make it hard to push in because there'll be a lot of fire and flames which you have to walk through. And then that will take you into the world of... Oh, what's the name of the game? Not Tap Tap Revenge, that's the one that was on the iPhone. The guitar game. Oh my god, it was a rhythm game. Either way, that's going to be really annoying when I watch this back and I'm like, Gio, it was called this. Either way, seeing a lot of these classic reinforcements be made here by Trippy. Of course, you're going to be keeping the garage door closed. They're basically trying to play to prevent Cloud9 from making a push through that garage door as long as possible. And Cloud9 did struggle a little bit with getting down the yellow stairs when they played against Axiomatic. So if that is how things go again in this round, and when Trippy are doing these garage defenses, then they could be finding some pretty easy rounds in their pocket when they play here against Cloud9. Now, I'm liking here that they do have the presence upstairs because it's not something that we always see from some of these Korean teams. A lot of them like to play with sort of all their eggs in one basket, and by that I mean all their operators in one room or one area. So with the Mute and the Jaeger upstairs, Jaeger, you know, quite common to have up there. Mute sometimes, or oftentimes you see him down in security with the Maestro, but it's actually going to make it a lot harder for Cloud9 to do that very key droning. Well, okay, Harper's going to be going down fairly quickly, and actually, you say that, Harper, not a member of the team that I've actually seen here before, so I don't know if he's just a stand-in. Maybe it's someone who's changed their name, but he doesn't have the clan tag, so I'm expecting it to be a temporary sub. Either way, he's going to be the first one to go down. Sweetback's going to be moving forward to open up some of these hatches and maybe have a look at applying some of that vertical pressure to move down into the garage. Camera's still outside, which means Hedy is going to be completely watched out, and now he's looking through his own drone. There is the potential for the run out here from Trippy, very common on this map, saying that Envy Taylor does have a Nomad, so maybe those air jabs have been placed to prevent that. But since we haven't seen, I guess you never know. Either way, it doesn't actually look like Hedy is going to be going down. Instead, Simpai will, and that's going to even things up here for these two teams when it comes to the man count. And that roaming presence is going to be gone off of this first floor. Or I should say second floor. No, it's first. I get so confused because of American versus British terminology. Either way, more trades going down on the board. So that's leaving it into a 2 versus 3. Yo is so low on health, but still have those very nimble operators left on the side of Trippy. But that said, with a double ACOG on the side of Cloud9, if they can hold the correct angles, then maybe they'll be able to get members of Trippy. Instead, Envy Taylor's going to be falling, so that's going to make things very hard here for Hedy. What is there that he can do? Not really much. PJH is going to be finishing off, and that is the first round to Trippy. And this is kind of what I was saying, where Cloud9 do struggle a little bit to break into this point here on Consulate down in the garage. So Trippy are going to have to move points now. Okay, all the way up to CEO and meeting. Kind of common to go for your second point. Interesting if they decide to bring the Frost. I don't think that's someone who I've actually seen played in... Okay, yeah, no, not bring the Frost. I was going to say, that would be a bit strange. A bit bizarre. You know what? Now I'm going to look up what that game was called. Guitar Hero, of course. In my head, I just kept thinking, oh, it's called Air Guitar. And I was like, it's not called Air Guitar. Guitar Hero. That's the one. Well, I was trying to make a Guitar Hero reference earlier and I screwed it up. So we move on into our second round. 6 pick onto the Mozzie. Gonna add a little bit more presence here for Trippy, which will be required. They're going to want to make it obviously a lot harder for Cloud9 to move on into this top floor, which means they'll likely want some presence on the first floor. Oh my goodness, I need to get it all right. To me, the ground floor. To me, it is the ground floor, so I second guess every time I say it. Either way, they're going to want some of that roaming presence, and if they can get some, useful picks before Cloud9 have even had a chance to move in onto the site, then that's going to be incredibly useful for them and will be all the more oppressive for Cloud9. Interesting, the reinforcements there up in the console office that likely suggests that we're going to have someone situated in bathroom. Not that that is uncommon, but certainly something to look out for. And make it a lot harder for Cloud9 to move up the yellow stairs if that's what they decide to do. Although typically it's more common to see a push in through the east side of the map and using those Visa stairs instead. And that is what we're seeing now, Cloud9 starting to repel. And actually the sledge, Sweet Black, is going to be on the north side of the map instead. Maybe doing a bit of droning just then, but he is starting to move up now. Jaeger holding lobby. So that's going to be Templat here. He's just watching onto the spiral stairs. Basically, you just want to prevent all of those opportunities for rotation to move up onto the top floor. So that either forces the attacking team to move in through the top floor, where it's going to be a lot harder, or if they choose to go in through the first floor, then it's going to make it very hard for them to rotate upwards. And it looks like Cloud9 have chosen to come in through the top floor. Well, some of them. MV Taylor, down on the first floor instead. Now the X-Kairos has been used to open up the wall into I am forgetting my words so much today. Either way, with the floor being opened up, oh, okay, Senpai's going to take some, well, not damage, just be stunned out. But I was going to say, with the floor being opened up, Senpai did get some angles down. Now, MV Taylor, he's just waiting to see if he can get this peak, but who is going to be the first to move? Okay, it looks like the Trippy player is going to be backing off, and up goes the C4 from the Mozzie. If this can get one of the key members of Cloud9, that could be a very big issue. 1 minute remaining. Cloud9 still yet to move into those sites, and everybody is still alive. In goes the EMP from the Thatcher. Just want to destroy any of those electronic gadgets that may be around. Sweet Black failing to get the kill that he was looking for there, looking down into the meeting room window. He is on the upside down rappel, so maybe he's going to get that again, but instead he's going to get Nova. So that isn't really what he was looking for. You know, if you're going to be rappelling right next to your teammate, maybe don't throw a nade in their face. I don't know, just an idea. Either way, Senpai is going to be falling, so that is a little bit of a trade there for Cloud9, and they are putting down the diffuser. Yeonjin is going to be looking to move in. There's the double kill that he gets. That's what happens when you don't clear out the roamers of the enemy team, and this is going to make it significantly harder here, albeit impossible, for Cloud9 to get the round, and Trippy will be finishing things off. And it is just a perfect example of what happens when you decide to try and rush into the point without taking the time to clear out the roamers and clear out the people who will be moving in on you from the defensive side. Yeonjin was completely free there to just walk through the door and get those shots in. So Cloud9 probably going to be kicking themselves a little bit. Looking like it's going to be a lobby defense on the next round. Just looking at the scoreboard there. MV Taylor actually quite high up on it, and I'm willing to bet that's because both times so far he's been the last one alive. He's probably sitting there thinking, oh, for God's sake, guys, can you not just live? Maybe? It's like Kendrew and Na'Vi, always the last guy alive. Swear to God. So I think they're going to the first floor. Okay, yeah. Lobby and press, although people usually refer to it as piano instead. Even though it's called press room, people not using the words that are provided for them. Disgusting. So I will be interested to see if Trippy do have a solid top floor roam. Given that they bring in the Jaeger and the Mozzie again, it does suggest to me that that is what they're going to do. And that'll make it obviously a lot harder for Cloud9, who have decided to bring a Jackal actually. So that will maybe give them a little bit more intel as to where these members of Trippy are, because obviously that is something that really failed them in the last round, and Jack was pretty good on this map anyway. So he's one of those operators that you do occasionally see banned. I was going to say frequently. Frequently is not quite the word I would use, but occasionally. The mute jammer going down on the top floor. is going to make it a lot harder for Cloud9 to use their drones and get intel that way. So relying on that Inox could be incredibly useful. MV Taylor, he has, as I say, been the last one to go down, or at least the last man standing for the last 2 rounds. So if he plays his cards right and he does similar what he has been doing so far, then he should be up a little bit longer and for quite a while to be able to provide that information. Now, of course, Trippy are going to be setting up these crossfires here on the top floor. This is what I was looking to see. This is something that Cloud9 failed to do when they were on the defense on this site in previous series against other teams. And it will make it a lot harder for them to push on forward. What is going on here? Oh, okay. Just coming out of the window there. And MV Taylor, oh, well, I was going to say holding on to that angle to look down into lobby, but instead he's going to be moving away and trying to take a different angle instead. They're just trying to get some intel here. They know that in the last round, they screwed up. They messed up by not getting enough. That nade is going to come in. It was cooked a little while, but doesn't look like it's going to have got anything. So Yeonjin is still going to be holding on here. Stun also coming in as well. He's moving out the way and getting Harper as he decides to run in and try and take him by surprise. If there's one thing I'm learning here about Yeonjin, is that he's pretty good with a gun in his hands. Senpai on the Mozzie again. In fact, actually, I think it was Yeonjin who was on the Mozzie before, but he is going to be on the Goyo this time, and those Goyo shields, again, will make it like a stronger denial of Cloud9's potential rotations. Pretty much everything here is designed for that, and that's what makes these these middle floor holds quite difficult if you play it correctly. Nova beginning with the plant, doing it right in the corner here of lobby. Senpai is going down, so that's going to be pretty beneficial here for Cloud9, and they do manage to get the entire defuse. That throws Trippy into a retake situation, but they do have 4 men on the board, and with just Nova remaining on Cloud9, this could be quite difficult for Cloud9 to win this out. But that was a great shot there onto What, but not enough. Trippy are able to undefuse the diffuser. And I think at that point, if you're Cloud9, you can't really expect that to have worked out all that well. Yeah, it was great that Nova managed to get it down, but you're not going to move further in the building, so everybody knows you're going to be backing out. It was a great shot that he did get onto What at the end there, because it seemed like sort of one click and he just happened to be in the right situation. Maybe that was a particularly fast reaction time, but you're going to be moving out the building and all they have to do is run out because there's nothing to stop them. Going down to the garage and cafeteria now. I believe this is the same composition that Trippy were playing before. Okay, they're going to bring a Valkyrie instead. I don't actually remember if they did bring the Mozzie the first time round. That could be something that they did change up. No matter. It's going to be interesting here with the Valkyrie. Putting those black eyes upstairs will give Trippy a lot of warning as to when and where Cloud9 come in. And they're probably expecting MV Taylor to be coming in on the Jackal again, like he did last round. Jackal is typically most associated with this garage cafeteria point as opposed to any of the others on the map. So if he did bring it that round and they planted the diffuser and they nearly got the round, then Trippy are most likely expecting them to have a go at that again. So if you can out intel the attacking team who are trying to intel you, then that will work very much in your favor. Very interested to see where the mute is going to be. Played on the first floor last time. Wondering if maybe he will remain there or if he's going to play on the bottom floor instead. Okay, Goyo's going to be playing down here from Archives. That should make him pretty safe. The most important thing about him is the fact that his shields are there in front of the garage door. And that does give him this opportunity to use the cameras. But of course, it may be that he does have to rush through if he is needed. There goes a C4. Didn't get anyone, but Envy Taylor, in fact, is going to be the first one to get a kill this time around with Templat going down. That does lower the threat of the roam. The Jaeger, we did see him before. He was up on the first floor, typically situated in piano. And that might make Cloud9's push across the first floor a little bit easier if they decide they want to come in through that press room. This is bizarre. I mean, a cool placement, I guess, but still a little bit bizarre. Valkyrie's going to get stunned out by that lifeline, and now Harper knows that she's over there. Not quite going to get the shot through the wall. Eventually does get the kill onto Simpai. Now Cloud9 can move forward a little bit more with a little bit more confidence. But Trippy, they're getting ready for any of those ingresses that Cloud9 may make. It is PJH who is going to be on the first floor once again, and he will have that angle down through the hatch if anyone decides that they're going to move into garage. And of course, when you have the Maestro situated in the security room, it does set up that crossfire that makes it exceptionally difficult for anyone to move down. Envy Taylor's going to be playing here on the staircase, does get a kill onto Youngjin. That's pretty huge there for Cloud9, and they're really in the advantageous position here, and this could be a good opportunity for them to move forward and actually be able to take this point. It would be the first, and they do require it. Those Goyo shields blowing up sets everything on fire. Whatby is getting ready to shoot through the garage door, but just PJH is remaining now as Whatby does fall. Nova is going to be going as well, but Cloud9 do have the man advantage, and this does look like it should be around to them. With 30 seconds left to go, bringing PJH down is pretty easy. Envy Taylor gets that last kill, and Cloud9 finally get a point on the board. I think that was a lot more meticulous from Cloud9. They used their utility well. They were a lot more careful. I was very impressed with how the two roamers were able to be brought down very early. You had the Jaeger and the Valkyrie, both of whom were going to be really major parts of Trippy's composition, went down very, very early. I didn't actually get a full catch onto how Whatby on the Maestro fell down, but it didn't look like he was playing the regular Alder ACOG. So I'm going to be looking out to see what he's going to be playing that time, because I'm pretty sure he had a holo, but he wasn't on screen long enough for me to be able to actually see if it was the Alder he was running. Going up to CEO meeting, and Trippy here are actually going to be bringing some electrification in the form of a bandit, as well as playing the alibi, which they have already done once so far. Youngjin is sitting up there at the top as far as kill count goes with 7, Envy Taylor just behind at 6, and he's going to be coming back on the Jackal. That seems to be working out a lot better for Cloud9 than the Nomad. The Nomad is, of course, what they were playing before, and it just wasn't getting enough. The utility on the side of the Jackal is providing a lot more benefit for Cloud9. He's been using that Inox quite a lot and being able to track footprints that has led to some pretty useful kills, whereas the air jabs didn't seem to be doing all that much. It was more important that Trippy were closing off those rotations from Cloud9, so Cloud9 using an air jab to close off a rotation from Trippy just wasn't getting enough value as potentially against another team. And now Cloud9 are going to start to come in. Ooh, that would be an early kill, and it's going to be Simpai falling. That makes the alibi off the board, and Envy Taylor can start to move in a little bit further. PJH going to be doing some droning here. Those evil eyes placed just in case anyone starts to move in. You can, of course, fire through them, deal some significant damage as well. This is an interesting Goyo shield placement, and actually the way that Youngjin is hiding behind it. Not Goyo shield, sorry. I believe that is Bandit's deployable shield himself. He can, of course... Well, it's someone's deployable shield. Either way, Hetty is going to be getting a shot onto Youngjin, so that does make the Bandit out of action, and so much smoke going off on the site gave Cloud9 the opportunity to plant the diffuser. Now, in the retake scenario, it's going to be Whatby and Templat getting ready to try and cut Cloud9 off. Sweet Black sitting here on the roof, and he knows that Templat's looking out. He is able to get a shot onto Sweet Black, but falling himself, Whatby's going to have to pick him up, and time is running out before they can actually do the retake. Nova holding on to this angle here with the ACOG on the Type 89 of the Hibana, and Cloud9 are going to be able to take another round. And really, they just forced Trippy into this panic situation where, even though they knew where the members of Cloud9 were, they had to deal with the scenario in which one of them fell. If Watby didn't go to pick up PJH, what was going to happen? PJH would die and Watby would be on his own against 3. And Nova, obviously full health there, would have been pretty impossible to go against. So there was only so many options, and neither of them were all that great here for Trippy. Now this is Cloud9's chance to even things out before the half, going down into the garage once again, and evidently Trippy feel that they may have learned from their mistakes and will be potentially able to take this back for themselves. Bringing in the Kaid, this is something I quite like the idea of. I'm a little bit more of a fan of Kaid on this point than Bandit. It means that you can electrify that wall, of course, but it also means you can stay back a little bit further and hold some angles. Now, what this will mean is that Nova is going to be looking to open up the garage door with the X-Kairos. And if you can Kaid trick with the Electro Claw from afar, then you can, of course, get rid of those X-Kairos as Hibana tries to come in. Looks like... Okay, I was going to say, why are they leaving that last bit open? But they're not. They're just trading things out and instead coming up here to close those hatches off. Of course, the hatch in the bathroom remains open, ADS in there as well. That makes it more safe from projectiles. You don't have to worry about a grenade coming in through there and killing your Meister off. Templar being a bit cheeky here, seeing if you can get a spawn peek, but it's not going to happen. Cloud9 will start to head on in. Now, it doesn't look like they've electrified the garage yet, so they're probably going to be going for that Kaid trick. I guess I don't have any sound cues, so I don't know if the X-Kairos did work. I'm assuming it did because Nova didn't react. Okay, yeah, it did work, but now they've electrified it, so the Kaid trick evidently didn't work. It didn't get the Electro Claw on in time. Now, that could give Nova a line of sight into the garage, but it's going to make it a little bit harder to land that extra X-Kairos, especially when you know there's the risk that that Kaid is there and that the trick could come out. Senpai's trying to hold here onto yellow stairs because he knows that's where Cloud9 are likely going to be looking to rotate down. Interesting. I mean, definitely a little bit more stationary than he has been playing thus far. What is this? Quick scoping. You look really cool, Youngjin. He's just looking to see if someone's going to try and peek him or come up close, or maybe if another X-Kairos is going to be planted, but right now it doesn't look like it. Harper knew someone was there on yellow stairs, wasn't able to get a shot as Senpai wasn't peeking, but Senpai has had to back off now as a direct result of that. PJH just checking this angle from the bathroom. Of course, he can see down in the hatch and will be able to watch the flanks of anyone below. This is the option for Sweet Black to use that skeleton key to open up Piano and start to apply that vertical pressure, especially as the Kaid is sitting right by the garage door. If he can get that onto him, then that should give Nova an opportunity to open up that door and enter in through that angle. But so far, no luck. Harper's still holding on to this angle, and Senpai is looking for the buck upstairs. Not going to be standing out just yet, though. And of course, relying on this bug, is he going to be able to get that shot? No, not quite. Oh, well, it actually does. Harper brings Senpai down as he did have to move. That means that those yellow stairs will not have as much protection. They won't be as blocked as much. And now we have Harper looking out for the Kaid to give them the opportunity to push in. In comes Nova, starts to make that plant. This is where you would normally have to be careful of the evil eyes, but it doesn't look like they've been put down anywhere near. Oh, in fact, actually, there was one underneath the van, but it did get Thatcher EMP'd, and that gave Cloud9 an opportunity to try and move in. Now, Trippy did get a lot of kills just then, but it's a 2 versus 1, and Youngjin is so low, so Cloud9 are able to get the round, but that was very close there. I think if Trippy had been able to manage that Kaid a little bit better, it seemed slightly off-roll there for Youngjin. Maybe he's not used to playing the Kaid, wasn't quite able to get the Kaid trick, wasn't able to provide enough pressure to prevent Cloud9 from coming down. Maybe Senpai should have been... Well, it's very easy to say a little bit more aggressive onto Harper on the stairs, but going against a Zafir, that weapon matchup kind of does work out in the Zafia's favor, especially as she can hold those very tight angles with the ACOG. So quite difficult there, and I think some of the issue just came from not being able to oppress Cloud9 as they were coming in from all those different angles. Regardless, it's Cloud9's time to go on the defense, and they will be going to Garage Cafeteria first, playing slightly differently to how Trippy have been, although they are going to bring the Goyo, which is what Trippy did bring on their first couple of Garage Cafeteria holds. So likely putting those shields up very close. Bringing the smoke instead of the mute. So very likely Smoke is going to be playing downstairs instead of having that presence upstairs, and then potentially having the Valkyrie and the Jaeger upstairs instead. Particularly you're going to be looking to have the Jaeger upstairs, of course, but Valkyrie, you don't really want to be keeping her... there's just no reason to keep her downstairs. She's a lot more useful. Having her upstairs, she can play as the extra roamer. She can have a little bit more safety to look at those black eyes. Senpai on the IQ, though, going to be a lot more useful to prevent Cloud9 from having that intel. And actually, they've brought the Jackal and the Nomad as well. So they're really, again, going for this kind of out-intelling Cloud9. And with the Nomad, hopefully cutting off those rotations. That's something that they've been able to really do against Cloud9 a little bit better than Cloud9 have against them. Other than in that last round where Cloud9 were able to overcome the hold on the yellow stairs. It'll be interesting to see if Trippy are able to make this work. And they did have a pretty dominating start to the first half. But of course, Cloud9 were able to catch up with those adaptations and changes that they made. So Trippy need to be sure that they're adapting faster. They're recognizing Cloud9's playstyle and how to go against it earlier than Cloud9 are doing it in reverse. Because Cloud9 is sitting above Trippy in the standings right now. So Trippy really do need to be getting those points on the board if they want to be a genuine threat to the top half of the standings. There goes an X-Kairos as PGH starts to open up the garage door. Minute and a half down. And Harper isn't actually playing upstairs. So the Valkyrie is going to be downstairs. And actually so is the Jaeger, it looks like. Unless I am mistaken. But if that is the case, that's pretty bad for Cloud9. They have made these mistakes where they don't put the roamers in the right place. And actually there is presence in piano from Trippy right now. We did just see the Goyo waiting to put a C4 in the ceiling to see if he can catch them out. And if that does work, then great for Cloud9, but really they should... Okay, I eat my words. That worked out fantastically for Cloud9. Getting the double kill there onto Wotby and Templat. That's great. Losing the Nomad and the Zafir, particularly that Zafir, is so key. Going to be so much more pressure here on Senpai to be gaining that intel and bringing down the electronic gadgets so that Cloud9 don't have that intel on them. But Senpai's not going to be alive anymore. Now it's just down to Youngjin and PGH. PGH losing health fast and Youngjin going to be put into the ground. This means Cloud9 are going to have a pretty easy win on this round. And this is a great start to this half from Cloud9. And really, I was concerned about some of the placement of their operators, but the fact that the double kill C4, it was very lucky, to be honest. You know, yes, maybe the black eyes were up there. I didn't actually see where they got placed. I didn't see who was in the camera. So maybe they knew that they were exactly there and just waiting for that call. But actually we saw, I think it was Watby, walk back into the room as the C4 came up. And so the fact that he just happened to walk directly over where that was being thrown was pretty hilarious to me. Up to CEO and meeting for the second point. Now, this time, Trippy are bringing the Thatcher. That's going to make it a little bit easier for them to deal with those electronic gadgets this time. So things like the evil eyes and the black eyes are going to be a little bit more threatened. Of course, you kind of expect a Maestro to be played up here. Again, to hold on to those very key angles. Like in this drone placement. I am so bad. When I play this game, I'm so bad at aiming my drone to jump and sit on a surface. I usually just hide them under things because I just have to give up on being able to do that. It doesn't work for me, but that's why these guys are the pros and I'm not. Now, Trippy likely going to be looking to get PJH into that break room so that he can open up the meeting wall with the X-Kairos. So it's good that we're seeing some presence here from MV Taylor at the north side of the map. There we go. He's just running around there. Although he, you know, being a roamer, I guess he is going to be moving around a little bit. But Trippy likely going to be coming in through the east side. I mean, it's pretty common. You come in through the visa admin side of the map. Who knew? It's actually looking like they're going to try and get some angles here onto the roof. If Templat can get this shot, that would be pretty good onto Harper. Doesn't look like he's going to be walking into the line of sight though. So instead, Templat's going to be rappelling back down. Didn't work out. Time to move in. PJH looking to get some shots into the CEO window. Doesn't actually see anybody, but that would give him the opportunity to potentially swing in. We have seen these teams be opportunistic, but after what happened with Cloud9 earlier, and the fact that Cloud9 did go for that opportunistic plant and were eaten alive by the roamers, then Trippy probably not going to be doing that. And now they have lost PJH and have basically lost Simpai. It's going to make it a lot harder. Question is anybody going to go out and help Simpai up? He's a little bit far away. They do have some time, just under 1:20 on the board. Cloud9 are, of course, lacking those Valkyrie, well, the Valkyrie presence. MV Taylor going to bring down Youngjin. This is a great start to the round. Well, it's not really the start of the round anymore, but it's looking pretty good here for Cloud9. Trippy are going to be so fractured now that, I mean, they're basically coming in from a start. Again, no one has really entered the building. So they're very fractured. They can't work in as a 5-man team, and they can't apply a pressure that you would really require in order to break into this point. And especially when you don't have your Hibana anymore to open any of those reinforced walls, it means that Trippy's abilities and their chances and the options for them to come in are going to be a lot harder. There goes the smoke, Templat just crouching by, and Watby is going to get a kill onto Sweet Black. Starts to even things out a little bit, but 20 seconds left to go, and Templat is going to have to move in to make a plant. Hetty is sitting in the site, and this is why we're seeing this angle be held. But Trippy, if they don't move in, then it's going to be them who lose the round. And it looks like that could happen, but in fact, things turning around a little bit. And MV Taylor's going to have to be the one from Cloud9 to make these moves to actually bring things down. Down goes the diffuser, which means it's in a retake scenario. And the Mozzie going to be looking to get that key C4 to bring down the members above, but he doesn't know where they are. There's only so much intel that Cloud9 have available to them, and Trippy, all they have to do is run around and burn off the time. And they don't even have to do that. They bring down the Mozzie, and Trippy do, in fact, get the round. And that's so disappointing for Cloud9 because it did look like that was working out in their favor. It looked like it was a round that they would be able to add on to their collection. But things are evened out now, and this really is what Trippy are looking to do. given that they are sat below Cloud9, as I say, in the standings, they need to prove that they're dominating. They had a good start to their attacking round. They need to start catching up with their defense. Cloud9 are choosing to go back onto that top floor, and they're going to be bringing the exact same composition once again. Okay, Trippy. So they brought a Nomad before, and then for the last round, they 6-pick off the Nomad and onto the Thatcher. They wanted to have a go at that utility. Well, evidently now they've decided that controlling those rotations and controlling the physicality of Cloud9 is a lot more useful to them than controlling the gadgets that they have available to them. I think especially given that I think Nova and Sweet Black were two of the first people to go down on the side of Cloud9, that kind of makes sense. Those are your two operators which are running those very important gadgets, as in the cameras, they give you the intel. So if you can get those down early, then it may be more to your benefit to have control over the rotations instead. And Cloud9 obviously want to be learning from their mistakes in that round. Again, things look like they were working out in their favor, and they just started to lose those gunfights once the pressure was coming in. Pests going on the yellow stairs. And they will likely be trying to set up cameras a little bit to have a better idea of where those members of Trippy would be if they do manage to break into the site, because clearly MD Taylor wasn't able to get those C4s, in an ideal position underneath them, and was shot himself. Nova. I was gonna say, Nova, be careful, my man. It looked like he was gonna just waltz outside the window. He did stand very precariously close to a window in the last round, and it made me a little bit nervous. But no, he's just having a look at those cameras, seeing where people are on the outsides of the building. Placing a black eye now. Okay. Down in the Visa stairs. It's Visa stairs? Admin stairs? I think it's Visa stairs. Take your pick. I suppose it doesn't really matter. MV Taylor going on a roam. See if anybody has come in through the bottom here, and if he can catch anybody out. Now, Nova managed to get some sights on a couple of members of Trippy who are out the front, looking like they're coming in through lobby. This information is, of course, going to be relayed, and that'll be very useful for Harper and MV Taylor on the roam, who are looking for those members. There was the Nomad. Now MV Taylor potentially going to take his chance to move on up. There's a C4, probably not actually going to get anything, as it looked like it was a little bit off. And Nova is just in the next room to what be. So this might spell disaster. Instead of moving in, it looks like they're just going to be holding in these angles. They do actually use the smoke as well, potentially to try and blow what be out. Or flush him out, I suppose is a better turn of phrase. And basically, as Trippy start to move in, Cloud9 just want to be sure that they're holding those angles, that they're using the things to deny Trippy the entrance. PJH going to be falling, but Sweet Black's going to be going down as well. That's going to be that very key Maestro being lost very, very early on. But Cloud9 still do hold the man advantage as MB Taylor turns things around, and Trippy is still yet to go and pick up the diffuser, which is sat right outside the meeting room. Oh, the Nomad doesn't quite go down, as Whatby is able to get that shot into Nova first. That's going to give him a lot of dominance in this area of the map. And Templat looking for that shot, but not going to work. Cloud9 are able to bring him down. And that was really just quite a rush in at the end there. Trippy, really as soon as PJH went down and the diffuser was lost, made it very, very difficult. Because in that point, even though Whatby on the Nomad was able to win out the gunfight against Nova on the Valkyrie, what was going to happen if he went to go and grab the diffuser? There were other members of Cloud9 who were still available to just rush into the point, so they had to try and deal with those other members and clear that out first before they could take their chance. But losing out in those gunfights, it did mean that Cloud9 were able to take the lead in that scenario. going down to Garage Cafeteria, bringing back the Thatcher is what I meant to say, but Kaid as well going to be joining as well. And having Thatcher is going to be very important here, especially if Cloud9 do pre-electrify the garage door. And if you want to be avoiding losing out on your X-Kairos, then the Thatcher will be incredibly important. But, however, that might mean that those EMPs do get wasted before there is an opportunity for them to be used onto the Evil Eyes. This is what happened before, is the EMP was able to be spent on the Evil Eyes, and that's why we were able to see a push and a plant into the Garage Cafeteria, because there was nothing that could be done, even though those cameras were pointing directly at the planter. Looks like they're setting up to have one of the members up here in the bathroom area. They do not have a mute like Trippy were playing. Cloud9 preferred to bring the smoke, but I'm not sure why you'd want the smoke upstairs more than you would downstairs, but you know, you never know. But with the ADSs and the reinforcements up there, it does suggest there is going to be at least somebody who's going to be up there. There go all the X-Kairos. So if they get tricked, which they're not going to because Templat just got the most incredible shot there onto Sweet Black. Oh no, they did get tricked. They did do it. And that means the Hibana has no X-Kairos left, no way of opening up that garage door. That's huge for Cloud9, and I'm so impressed that that trick was able to be brought out before Sweet Black went down, because it really looked like that's what Templat was going for. That was some fantastic play, and that does force Trippy to come down and make a vertical play. It looks like actually they're going to be pushing straight in through the yellow stairs rather than going upstairs. And this is where so many members of Cloud9 are, looking for Nova to get those shots down through the hatch. And look at that angle. PJH is going to make a plant, but is it going to be enough? Watby has got his flank. Hetty brings down Youngjin though. And as Nova and Envy Taylor start to move in, there's so much pressure on. But Trippy are getting some of these shots. I don't even know who's going to win. Envy Taylor's the only one remaining on the side of Cloud9, and he doesn't exactly know where the members of Trippy are, but he is able to get PJH as the last shot, and Cloud9 will be winning out that round. That was a fantastic round. That was really fun. The fact that Kaid trick worked, even though Trippy specifically planned their strategy to get rid of the Kaid before that was possible. That threw a real spanner into the works, a real electroclaw onto the reinforcement. And so Trippy they didn't have much of a choice. Throw in the lifeline, try and just brute force our way down those yellow stairs. But when you have members of Cloud9 upstairs looking down through the hatch and people can come in, yes, there are trades backwards and forwards. But of course, things ended up working out for Cloud9. Now going to lobby and press, or Robbie and Kitashir. Have Cloud9 done lobby and press yet? Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. Well, Youngjin switching onto the Ash. Trippy are going to be looking for that firepower. Evidently, that's something that they have been attempting in all these rounds. They've been taking those gunfights, and they were just like a little bit more. And also, when you're running something like the Ash, who can drone for herself and worry about herself, then the rest of that information that's being shared can really be concentrated on those other members of the team who will be looking to take those tighter angles, use utility a little bit more. Sweet Black on the pulse as well, so expecting him to play downstairs. And it's something that Cloud9 have been trying to do, is have those C4 operators downstairs. So it'll be interesting actually to see if Harper also does that, because obviously the Valkyrie can bring the C4 as well. And the other thing with playing the pulse is that it's not too much of a risk to the IQ. Of course, the black eyes from the Valkyrie will be, but even if they get brought down, you'll still have that cardiac sensor on your side. In come these drones. Checking downstairs. And this way you can just breach open the garage door like it's nothing. Tell that to the last round. And it looks like Trippy are going to try and clear out the basement. I'm not sure there's, well, yeah, I'm not sure there's anyone. I guess there must be. Nova's upstairs. Oh, actually, Sweet Black. Okay, Sweet Black is up here. I was thinking I can't see anyone in the basement. So Sweet Black's hanging around by the Maestro. So maybe they're expecting Trippy to come in through the top floor. Were Trippy maybe expecting an Archives Tellers defense? Not sure. Either way, Senpai on the IQ, being able to see that utility from below and shooting on through the floor. Okay, MV Taylor is downstairs. Alright, that downstairs roam, that's great. Are Trippy going to clear it out though if they decide they want to move upstairs? Hetty gets the first kill onto Watby. Most likely with EMPs in pocket as well, as they weren't able to come across anyone before they started to move upstairs. So that's going to be a disappointing loss there for Trippy. And with Harper holding onto the yellow stairs, it can make the rotation a little bit harder. Once again, just going to be relying on the IQ, really. It really looks like Trippy weren't expecting this to be the defense that they were going to be coming across. Especially as in this region, and actually Cloud9 do like the Archives Teller's point. Maybe this was a bit of a bait. And they wanted Trippy to think that they were going to be going for Archives Tellers. I mean, especially when you bring the Pulse as well. I don't remember if he was a 6 pick or not. I don't think so. So that's really thrown Trippy off. And with half a minute left to go, they've got 2 members against an entire team of Cloud9, pretty much all of whom are virtually full health. This is... If Trippy are able to take this, it will be a miracle blessed upon the world of Siege. Oh, Senpai. Okay, well now he knows he's going up against the Valkyrie, but there was the crossfire. Cloud9 have a flawless round. Entirely unsurprising there. So it just looked like it was a complete bait. And Trippy were very much thrown off. And that is the entire game there for Cloud9. That went so quickly. For some reason, I thought there was another round on the end there. So it was a little bit potentially anticlimactic at the end there, but Cloud9, very solid round at the end there, and it's nice to see them improving in terms of their strategy and things like that, because when we've seen them on Consulate before, not necessarily all that impressive, and even further back than that, they have just struggled with some of that being smart play. But I was very happy with that ending there, and I was really happy with Harper as well. At the beginning, I was thinking, oh, you know, who's this Harper guy? Is he going to mesh with the team? Like, who is that? Is he a sub? Maybe I should look up on Wikipedia. That would be useful. Okay, interesting. So, on the active player roster, there's MV Taylor, Sweet Black, Hetty, and Nova. So, I'm willing to bet that Harper was a sub. Either way, a lot of improvements out of Cloud9 there, and Trippy played really well as well. They had a very impressive start to the round. They had some really good rounds. It was more about they weren't able to adapt faster than Cloud9 were, and obviously at the end there with Cloud9 outplaying them, both in the kind of the baiting as well as some of those gunfights. It does show that while Trippy aren't a bad team, it gives an idea of where that cap is and why they may be sitting at that 3rd spot in the standings. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this cast, and I will see you in the next video.